Blog Talk Radio.
Don't touch me. I'll beat your brains out.
I mean, you can take a knee and try a 56-yard field goal. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl. Let's get ready to rumble. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Tipsy. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. But that's how it goes. California! The big game over Stafford!
I think that the NFL knows what Randy Moss has done with
says wave
marijuana.
to you guys,
And I
so
think
wave.
the NFL knows what Randy Moss does with marijuana.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Shimmy!
Good morning, and thank you for joining me.
Top of the morning, everybody. Those of you already on Facebook Live and Instagram, the millions, obviously, listening around the world on Blog Talk Radio, live from Hollywood. This is Tough Love. I'm Alistair. Hopefully everybody is doing all right. I look like a bag of smashed ass. I know what's going on. It was a fun night. It was just a little bit of a rough one. Oh, real quick, I'm just asking for a friend. Does anybody have any idea about like webcam type of stuff? Like best times to do it, how much you make, best hosting site? Just, again, asking for a friend, and I thought I'd throw it out there. So if anybody has any comments about how to go about doing that, just throw them in the comment section. I'll maybe chat you up later. As usual, you know, it's so funny. I say this all the time, but you know what you always think is a lame off season or whatever. There's always stuff sports-wise going on, and so as wouldn't you know, the anthem, the national anthem policy is still a thing. It's still a thing. There's a lot of NFL to get to. There was a boxing match last night. You guys know me. I love boxing. Mikey Garcia won against Ray Easter. Get to that. You know what's funny, though? Real quick. People shit on ESPN all the time. Like, oh, they took away their comment section, by the way, which is a little disheartening to me because I enjoyed commenting on the articles. I enjoyed having a little back and forth debate with people on the comment section. And so they took it away, but always in the comment section, people would always bitch and shit on ESPN, even though they were on ESPN's website. This is why I don't go on ESPN anymore. It's like, oh, funny, you're here right now. But it's amazing the power that they have. Everybody's talking about, they're not as big as they used to be, so forth. The CFL, Canadian Football League, is becoming more popular. Why? Because it's on ESPN. Soccer, which you all know how much I love soccer, is on ESPN. The MLS, obviously the World Cup just ended, and everybody, obviously is soccer's getting bigger. Lacrosse is on ESPN. That's getting bigger. I mean, they could have cornhole on ESPN and it would be a thing. It's insane. It really is. Hey, everybody on Instagram. I should do Instagram more often. So it's funny. Everybody always, makes a big deal out of nothing. Or they want to be right. I don't know exactly what it is. It reminds me of the deal with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has not signed his contract yet. The Jets' first-round pick, he has not reported to camp, and all the reporters are like, "This is really gonna inhibit his, maturation," and then like, no, it's not. No, it's not. This happens every year. Every year. Hold on a sec, Devin. Top of the morning, Devin. Says Woo is in the background. Yes. What's he licking on right now? Check it out. Hey, Woo. Woo, what are you doing? Could that dog be any more human? It's hilarious. They do have cornhole on ESPN. Are you serious? Do they really? No, stop it. I would have to fact check this right now. I know that for a fact they used to have darts and what else? Just something crazy that they used to have on that was just ridiculous. But yeah, ESPN has makes anything popular. But either way, so yeah. People just buy in so much, right, to just the media. And, Sam Darnold, he's going to be so behind the learning curve. And it just, this stuff, that's the thing that's funny about sports. Obviously, I do a sports show. I'm a huge sports guy. But every year, the same rhetoric. It's the exact same stuff every year. People are interchangeable. The topics are interchangeable. She sent me a website to go and see. I will check that out. God, I can't believe they have cornhole. But it's just, again, especially in sports, it's just this revolving door. It's cyclical, and the games itself don't even change. The people do. The players do. But the stories always remain the same. Always it's the same thing. And this Sam Darnold deal is the exact same situation. And people are freaking out. Oh, he's not reporting yet. Well, he's going to. Eventually, just like every year, the people report, they eventually sign, and then they get brought up to speed. The people on the team, that's the other part that people fail to realize. Everybody said, how's the teammates going to look at him? The teammates are always about the money. They always say, get your money. So the team doesn't care that he's holding out for a better deal. That's why they have a union. That's why they do a CBA, a collective bargaining agreement, and have a union so they can actually do things, that are better. So, anyway, that's that. The Chargers, by the way, being in Los Angeles, I feel so bad for the Chargers. Nobody has more bad luck than the Chargers. Jason Verrett, their starting corner, goes down. They already lost Hunter Henry. They're starting tight end. It just sucks. I love Phillip Rivers, and I want the Chargers to do well, and I still think they will. I mean, they've got so much talent. It's just tough. Dez Bryant. Number one, I love the fact that Dez Bryant isn't signed. Number one. First and foremost, I love that. People are, I think they're finally getting, good morning, Ashley. Huh. I think people are finally getting privy to the fact that the locker room is important. If you play tennis or golf, yeah, it's just you. You can be an asshole. It doesn't, if you're a golfer and you're shitty to your caddy, well, that's one thing. But if you're on a team, basketball, football, hockey, baseball, whatever, and you're a dick, that resonates throughout the locker room. And that is why people talk about having cancers in the locker room. And Dez Bryant, a la Terrell Owens, Hall of Fame Terrell Owens, don't get me wrong, he's epic, but he's also a cancer to a locker room, and he proved it in Philadelphia. He proved it in San Francisco. He proved it in Dallas. Dez Bryant is not signed right now because he is a cancer. Talent-wise, he can still play. He's not what he used to be, obviously, but at the same time, he could be a benefit to a team. But teams have to actually reconcile, is the risk worth the reward? And with Dez Bryant, I don't think so. If I'm a team, I'm not signing Dez Bryant. Cleveland is talked about to sign Dez Bryant. And Cleveland could possibly have a good thing going this year. And granted, I know why they're thinking about it. Josh Gordon obviously is going through some substance abuse stuff. And so therefore he needs to go and get that figured out. He might report late to camp. They actually don't know exactly when he's going to be back. But why you still have all this new talent on the Browns and hope. So why would you bring in a shithead to possibly rain on that, and just to be a person in the locker room who people, who's going to voice his opinion, be a hater, not a team guy, and bring that in. That is why Dez Bryant isn't signed right now. Brian, I love you, bud. My little brother just joined us. And that's the biggest reason Dez Bryant's not signed. It's not talent. It's just, even though he has lost a step, it's all about his attitude. And people are finally becoming privy to, you know what? Might not be worth it. Might not be worth it to sign the guy, to give the guy money, to bring him into the locker room and have him pollute it. And even if he's talented, bring him in and all of a sudden disrupt. People don't understand, and I've had this argument with my buddy Dom numerous times about intangibles. Attitude is an intangible. You either have a good locker room or you don't. And any locker room with Terrell Owens or Dez Bryant, even Randy Moss, arguably the best receiver ever, he and Jerry Rice, but even Randy Moss wears out his welcome after a while. He's not Terrell or Dez Bryant attitude-wise, but he's smart and he voices his opinion, and eventually it gets old. Isn't it ironic how these guys, especially Randy and T.O., maybe not Randy in Oakland because their team sucks so bad, but they always, once they get to a new team, they have a good first year, second year maybe, and then all of a sudden the wheels fall off. Look at Randy in New England. Great. Did great, right? For the first year for sure, set records with Brady. And then the second year, it grew tired. And they traded him. Traded a Hall of Fame wide receiver, because it just grew tired. And that's why Dez Bryant is not being signed right now. Because he's a piece of shit, is what he is. Let's call a spade. He's a dick. And so, and he's calling out Cowboy teammates. I love what Sean Lee said. Sean Lee, linebacker for the Cowboys, is absolutely right. He said Dez Bryant doesn't take accountability. And that's just it. You have somebody like him who's passionate, don't get me wrong, but who never looks in the mirror. Guy never looks in the mirror and blames himself. Oh, could it be me? No, it's everybody else. I'm going to play the victim, and it gets old. And people realize that stuff a lot more now, it seems like, than they used to, and don't deal with it. And I love it. I hope Dez never plays again. That would be great. There's certain players that Terrell got away with it because he's so talented, but it's just, and Randy Moss too, to a degree. But you know what? People like that, it's a team game. You're always as strong as your weakest link. You're only as strong as your weakest link, maybe I should say. And when you have somebody who is polluting the locker room and is not a team guy, that does things that are, immeasurable. And so screw him. I hope he doesn't do anything. Todd Gurley signed a huge running back contract. I mean, it's interesting that he signs the big contract, although he's 23, and then Le'Veon Bell is sitting there, still waiting. Arguably the best running back in the league, especially when it comes to being all around, and is still waiting. Although I'm obviously it's hard for me to feel bad for the guy, being that he is making $15 million a year on a franchise tag. It's tough to feel sorry for a guy who's making that much money. I get it. You want a long-term deal, but $15 million back-to-back years, I think you're going to be all right. If $30 million doesn't last you the rest of your life, you're an idiot. And it's proven numerous times that there's many idiots in sports, because 30 for 30 put together a show called Broke about that exact thing. But I get it. Gurley signs. David Johnson's going to get paid. There's Ezekiel Elliott's going to get paid. I like the fact that hopefully football is getting back. Once again, every sports are cyclical. And so therefore, passing league, and it still is, don't get me wrong, passing, all the 4,000, the 5,000 yards. But the running back is becoming important. Remember a couple years back when there wasn't a running back drafted in the first round? Remember that? All of a sudden now, the running back is becoming more important. And it's not an Adrian Peterson type of running back. Obviously, now it is more of a Le'Veon Bell, a Todd Gurley, a David Johnson, a Dalvin Cook, people who aren't only a 2-down back. You want a 3-down back now. And so hopefully that running back is coming back, and strong defense. You guys know me. I'm a defensive dude. I like good defense and a running game. I like the 10-7 game. I don't like 53-50. I just don't. John Harbaugh said something the other day that I thought was interesting. If anybody is called, I haven't looked at the screen. I'm sorry. If anybody wants to call, 213-943-3423. John Harbaugh is the coach of Baltimore Ravens, and he mentioned something the other day that I feel is very real and true. He basically said NFL players aren't as tough as they used to be. He basically said they're soft because of the injuries that are happening comparably to the past. And the reason for it is valid. And he said the fact that the new collective bargaining agreement doesn't call for 2-a-day practices anymore, not as much hitting in practice anymore. It's making guys less calloused, he said, in the sense of just getting your body used to all the physical grind. You have an off season now where you don't have pads. You don't wear pads, and you just all of a sudden get training camp, throw pads on, and start hitting. And it's, with the guys the size the way they are now, stuff is going to happen. You're going to get, you possibly going to get hurt. And look at last year. I should have the list in front of me. But the people, especially the big name stars, last year they got hurt. Aaron Rodgers, Odell Beckham, J.J. Watt. The list is long. It's a laundry list. And I feel like John Harbaugh has a valid point. Guys aren't as strong, aren't as calloused as they used to be. And, I could go on a wild tangent right now about how I feel that has a lot to do with society. Men aren't as strong and manly as they used to be. Are a little soft now compared to 50 years ago. Whether you like to hear that or not, I believe that's 100% true. 50 years ago, nobody thought they were a flower. We weren't having snowflake discussions, stuff like that. And if you are one, I don't care. That's fine. All I'm saying is these are valid points, and people in our society today don't want to hear it. Oh, no, players aren't soft. Don't say that. They're not, Yeah, they are. And again, more of it has to do, I think, with just strict conditioning in the sense that you're not butting heads as much anymore. You're not being physical as much as you used to be. And mentally, you're not as strong. 2-a-days, when you go through 2-a-days, and I did growing up. Obviously, it's not the pros, but in high school, you have 2-a-days. You'd be there for practice in the morning, you take a break, and then you're back again in the afternoon. You had 2-a-days, and that's what they did in football. And the camps were very difficult. Obviously, it was different for each team, but you developed mental toughness through that type of stuff. It's just like basic training. Before I went to basic training, and after I got out of basic training, I was a full 180 of a person. It makes you do things that you didn't even think your body was able to do. I'm talking about basic, but 2-a-days in football is somewhat the same thing. You put your body through stuff that you haven't done before, especially in the off season when you're chilling. And all of a sudden you get to camp and you start doing 2-a-days, or you do nothing and go to basic training. I mean, and you get broken down and then you get built back up and your body gets built back up. It's something that is very valid. And I believe Harbaugh has a point. There's a lot of backlash, obviously. Everybody's freaking out. But I think it's true. 2 things on Jimmy Garoppolo this week that I find amusing. Number one, he said he's better than when he was in New England, he thought he was better than Tom Brady. I mean, I like the guy up until he said that. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. San Francisco definitely hopes he's going to be a good quarterback with all the money that they paid him. But, you're sitting behind a Hall of Famer. And granted, bud, you went in, you did well when you filled in for Brady. You won all your games last year in San Francisco. I get it. You're a confident dude. But to say you're better than Brady, or you thought you were better than Brady, just pump the brakes. Easy biscuit. Just relax. I like the guy, but it's like, you're talking about the greatest quarterback ever. Just chill out. All right, just relax. The other side is that he went out to a restaurant here in Beverly Hills, a place called Avra. I obviously don't know the place, but I just read about it. And he goes to dinner with a porn star. And, he's surprised at, people noticed. And, he's like, oh, I'm under a microscope now, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I mean, kudos to him. If you want to do anything with a porn star, have at it. My problem is that the porn star was hideous. Like, she's not attractive at all. Fake everywhere. She looks like she's mid-40s or early 50s. And just like Jimmy G is a really good looking guy, right? Like, he's a really, really good looking dude. He could easily be on the cover of GQ. Easy. He might have been. I don't know. I don't follow that stuff. But you got to check out the photo of this chick. It reminds me of when Tiger Woods got busted banging all those whores. None of them were hot. They were just like, they were sluts and strippers and stuff like that. It was just like, none of them were super hot. Like, if you're Tiger Woods and you're worth $1 billion and you're gonna cheat on your model wife, like, wouldn't you do it with hot chicks? Like Jimmy G, she is hideous. What? You are a really good looking dude. You've got all the money now, and Los Angeles is full of hot chicks, and you pick that? I don't get it. I don't get it. Everybody's talking about, I can't believe you went to dinner with a porn star. I don't care if you did. That's fine. Have at it. Have fun. But pick a hot one. That's all I'm saying. Why are you not with a hot chick? I don't get it. How often do you ever see an ugly girl with a rich dude? Never. Because rich dudes know that they can get hot chicks. It doesn't matter what the rich dude looks like. He could look like Boss Hogg from Dukes of Hazzard, just fat and nasty. But if he's rich, you can get a hot chick because they're shallow. That's just, that's life. It's just real. I'm not saying anything new. Nobody pull back. Don't everybody get all sensitive. That's just real. That's why feminists hate hot chicks and hot chicks hate feminists. Because feminists are trying to ruin a good thing for the hot chicks, and the feminists are mad because they don't get the same advantages that the hot chicks do. It's very simple. It really is. It's not that tough to figure out. What else have I got? Garoppolo, Dwayne Wade goes to China, possibly. Is that going to be another Stephon Marbury? I don't get, why would you go to China to play basketball if you're Dwayne Wade? I had a talk with a friend, building your brand, possibly. I guess. I just look at Dwayne Wade. It's like, the guy's got so much money. why do you want to, I mean, to each their own. Like, if it's just what you want to do, have at it. But if it's a business thing and you want to go to China to build your brand, I mean, Dwayne Wade, no offense, bud, but you're not Michael Jordan. You're not global. And I don't think going to China is going to make you global. Stephon Marbury was arguably the best player to ever go to China. And nobody still knows who Stephon Marbury is outside of the sports realm. So Dwayne Wade, I don't necessarily know what you're trying to do. If the fact that you still want to play and you don't, have the talent necessarily to still play in the NBA, that's one thing. I mean, from the looks of the NBA, I would think you'd be able to get on with a team and play. If you want to go to China and be a superstar in China, and dominate that league at your age, you probably could do so, because obviously the talent in China isn't what it is in the NBA. So I understand that. But I mean, if it's building a brand, which, a buddy of mine mentioned, I don't think that's going to work. I mean, you're popular. There's no doubt. Brian says, I feel like I could play basketball in China. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, well, I mean, you're tall enough. Maybe that's it. You could play, Brian, you could play center in China, because I'm pretty sure the tallest person would be like 5'8". You could be like down low. I wonder if they lower the hoop. Do you think they lower the hoop? Are you playing with an 8-foot hoop instead of a 10-foot hoop in China? Oh, yeah. Who knows? Trying to think of anything I'm missing. Oh, one last thing. Darrelle Revis. Oh, shit. I didn't even talk about the boxing match. Darrelle Revis retired, though. Where does he rank in all-time corners? I would say very high. Darrelle Revis, think about it. There was a time where Darrelle Revis, for about a 6, 7, 8 year stretch, was the best corner in the league. So to me, he goes down as top 5 corner. No doubt about it. Dion, Charles Woodson. I mean, it's tough to think that Darrelle Revis isn't in there somewhere. And finally, like I mentioned last night, God, I got like 2.5 minutes left. But there was a boxing match last night. Mikey Garcia, here at Staples Center in Los Angeles, by the way. But Mikey Garcia, LA native, versus Ray Easter, a lightweight unification title bout. Both undefeated. Ray Easter was game for a little bit. And then, Mikey knocked him down in the third, and then, ended up winning pretty convincingly. Now the question goes to, who is Mikey going to fight? He wants a legacy fight, and he is fighting at 135. He wants to jump up. Apparently they're sweeping the streets. Mikey wants to step up to 147 and fight Errol Spence, who is a massive 147 pounder. I mean, Mikey is so technically sound and so good, and I love him. He's one of my favorite boxers. I have said for a long time now that he and Vasily Lomachenko should fight. That is the fight. Lomachenko's at 135. Mikey's at 135. Make that fight happen. Lomachenko's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world right now. So Mikey Garcia says, that would be an easy fight. I don't want to take that. It doesn't do anything for my legacy, which obviously I would argue, being that Lomachenko's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, and if you beat him, that makes you best pound-for-pound. Now, if you go up 2 weight classes and fight Errol Spence and win, granted, that makes you the best fighter in the world, no doubt. Yes, but 99% chance you lose that fight. Errol Spence, it's not as though you're moving up to fight just like an average 147. Errol Spence is champ. He's the best in the division, in my opinion. And he's a big 147. It's like he should be fighting at 154, and he did. 10 seconds left. Blog Talk, I love you guys. I'm out. Have a great Sunday fun day. I'm Alistair Tough Love. See you later. Instagram and Facebook, I'll be with you for 10 more seconds. All I'm saying is, if Mikey Garcia is smart and has, he's making his own deals. I don't think he has a promotional company. He had a 1.5-year layoff from boxing because he had a lawsuit against Bob Arum and Top Rank Boxing. So now he promotes himself, but he doesn't want to work with Bob Arum and Top Rank, so therefore he's not fighting Terrence Crawford. And I don't know who Errol Spence is repped by, but Vasily Lomachenko, that fight can be done. Make that fight happen. You're both 135. If you beat Vasily Lomachenko, look at it like that. If you beat him, then go and fight Errol Spence. But get past the best fighter in the world first, and then see if you can't go up and fight Spence. And if you beat Lomachenko and Spence back to back, Mikey Garcia, you are the greatest on the planet. On the planet, without a doubt, there's no question about it. But don't go and fight Spence and lose only to fall back down and fight Lomachenko. Fight Loma first, and then if you win, which I don't know if you will, then go fight Spence. Just makes sense. And like I say, if you do that back to back and win those, game over. You are the man. There's absolutely no doubt you are the man. But that's the order. Don't go up and embarrass yourself, because Spence is too good. He's just too good. So anyway, love you guys. Have a great Sunday fun day. Thanks for joining in. Football season. Are you kidding me? Like next Sunday. By the way, next Sunday is the first football game. The Hall of Fame game is next Sunday. So how fun is it to think that next Sunday, starting next Sunday, we will have football through February. I just love that. I mean, that is, football's back, baby. I'm back when it comes to that, and I will start doing a Tough Love podcast. That's the whole blue deal behind me, so I can do editing and graphics and all that type of stuff. It will be a Sports Center like type of show where I'll do highlights and whatnot. So anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you next week. Ciao. Drive fast, take chances. That's my sign off, right? I never say it.